I feel like you've been very honest about this, about the pressure to conform. That you show up in Congress and there's just pressure to conform. What does that pressure feel like? How does it manifest itself? What do you mean by that?
Well, that pressure is like a vice, and there are so many different mechanisms in Congress that create that pressure. One, for example, is the fact that any bill and legislation that is being voted on is not really debuted to members until about 48 hours before the vote. And so sometimes these bills, they go through markup, they go through individual committees, and we all sit on different committees, so there's no way that we can all be at every markup at the same time. But they move through markup, but we often don't know if a vote is coming until, according to House rules, 48 hours ahead of time, which is an improvement upon Paul Ryan's Congress, in which it was 24 hours ahead of time. And so we're talking about sometimes pieces of legislation that are thousands of pages long. And then you say, wait, this is a really big problem. That's a really big problem. And they say, well, are you on our side or not?
Yeah.
And there's all this like lobbyist, authored provisions that are slipped inside. Sometimes we're able to catch them and take them out. We did that quite a few times in appropriations where we found a couple fossil fuel amendments. But there's a real intense pressure to conform. Yes.
Do you feel like that intense pressure to conform, there's also, how do you balance, like, I'm entering this institution that I ran against in some ways that I viewed as corrupt from the outside. Now I'm inside it. And I don't want to sell out, and I don't want to be sanded down to conform, but also I want to learn how the place works.
Absolutely.
And those seem to me like those can be impulses that are in tension with each other. Do you feel that way?
I think, well, they are naturally in tension, but that's where kind of just an individual's personality comes through. So if you just think that a person's politics defines who they are, and you see every person that is on the other side of you as almost a personal enemy, that creates a huge amount of problems for you. But when you see the result of our political process and the things that come out of our Congress as the natural result of pressures on our system, then you can treat the individuals inside that system as human. But also, it also almost, I don't like using the word civility in politics because I think it's a term to police how people talk.
Yeah,
but
you're going to get dragged on Twitter now.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think that there is an element where if I respect you, like people know that my political positions when I walk in there. And what's great is that they know exactly how I feel and who I am. And so they know not to come to me with certain things. And they also
it probably saves you some conversations.
It saves me a ton of time. But they also are willing to reach out to me on unusual things, but they feel like would fit in the consistency of my values.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.